What's up everyone, this is Travis with Working Class Garage, and today I'm going to be talking about the must-have tools for an entry-level automotive technician. So to start out with, if you haven't yet, go ahead and watch my first video, must-have tools for someone getting into the automotive industry. I go over a lot of the more basic things that you need. So I would definitely check that out if you haven't yet. So watch that one first and then watch this. So this one's geared more towards someone who has already decided that they want to be in the automotive field and that's what they want to do as a career. So I'm going to be going over the basic stuff that I think would be a good idea to get. Now you don't have to get the exact brands I talk about here. I do like a lot of the tools I have, but this isn't in any way a tool review. I'm just giving you the types of tools you need to get. A lot of these tools I'll probably review in the future, but I'm not going to go into really reviews on the tools. I will link below a list of a lot of tools that I suggest you guys getting as a good alternative from a tool trunk brand or something. So definitely check these links out. I spent a lot of time putting these links together to get a really good product list for you guys. So definitely check it out, and I would highly recommend picking up some of the stuff in the list because it's a really good option as far as price goes and quality goes, so you really get the best of both worlds. If I had to redo it, I would probably buy some of the stuff on the list versus some of the more high-dollar tool brand stuff I got. It's really just personal preference at the end of the day. I'm going to break this video up into categories kind of like I did my last video. I'm going to start with power tools and work my way on from there. So let's start with that and talk about some power tools. So in my first video, I did mention that you need a 1/2 inch air impact. Now, in addition to that, I would also recommend getting a 3/8 drive air impact, or if you want to, you could go with a 3/8 drive cordless impact. It's really just up to you. If you're only gonna get one, I would do the air because air is really the way to go for the most part if you want power. The thing with cordless tools are, if you're going to start investing in a cordless tool line, I would try to pick one that you like. So if you're pretty dead set on going with like Snap-on or Milwaukee or DeWalt, then go ahead and go for it and go cordless. I mean, I love cordless tools. I mostly use cordless stuff. Now I will say I do use this 3/8 air impact quite a bit. So it's kind of just up to you. And I would also recommend getting some type of powered ratchet, whether it's cordless like this one, the Snap-on, or this one is Mac Tools 1/4 inch. Now, just starting out, I would just do a 1/4 inch ratchet. I hardly ever use a 3/8 cordless ratchet. I mean, I definitely do sometimes, but I mostly use a 1/4 inch drive. If you're working on bigger stuff, obviously a 3/8 drive might be a little bit better for you. But like I said, up to you, whatever you think is going to work best. Air's a good alternative route to go. The good thing about air tools is you don't have to have a battery platform to run them. All you need is an air compressor. So that's kind of the good thing about air tools. You're always going to have air there to run them, and you don't have to worry about charging batteries and stuff. So it's personal preference. I'm going to link an air ratchet down below that's identical to this Mac one, because this one actually has a sealed head, which is really nice, and it really helps to get into tight places. As you can see there, the sealed head. And I also put this universal air fitting on there to help get into places. So bottom of the line power tools, when you're first starting out, I would get some type of 3/8 impact along with the tools I talked about in my previous video, and some type of either 1/4 inch drive or 3/8 drive air ratchet or electric ratchet like this one. These are going to save you a ton of time and be really useful. So next I'm going to talk about sockets. So this is in addition to my previous video. I did mention getting a set of deep well 1/2 inch drive impact sockets. So you're already going to have those if you follow the other video. Now, just starting out, when you're first buying sockets, I would just buy impact sockets because those are going to be your most used sockets. And later on down the road, if you feel like you need chrome sockets for clearance or whatever, you can go that route too. But I would just start getting all impact sockets. That way you're good to go with that. So as far as impact sockets go in the 1/2 inch drive, I would get a shallow set. I'm going to be linking sets below, so look at those. When it comes to impact sockets, I would look at Sunex. Sunex makes really great stuff, so I'm going to link their stuff below. You'll also see these universal sockets like this that have a joint that the socket actually pivots down in the body. I wouldn't start off buying a full set of those because they're relatively expensive and you don't really need them right off. Instead, I would get a set 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch of universal adapters. This makes it to where your regular sockets can kind of turn into a universal socket and can really save you a lot of money starting out. Now what you're going to notice the biggest difference is between a universal adapter with a socket on it and an actual universal socket is the size difference there. Obviously, the one that's made with the head on it is going to be a lot shallower, but for the most part, that's not going to be a huge issue, especially when you're first starting out. So I would just get the adapters to start with. I would get short well, deep well, 3/8 drive impacts. 6-point is really the best thing to go with. Especially starting out, you normally don't need 12-point sockets. Sometimes you might, but it's really not something you're going to run into a bunch. And 6-point's going to be a lot better for preventing rounded off heads and stuff. And I would also recommend short well and deep well 1/4 inch drive impact 6-point sockets. And then depending on what you're working on, you're going to need some different specialty sockets like inverted Torx, regular Torx, hex. Those are really the three main that you run into. Sometimes you're going to need triple square and stuff like that, but that just depends on what you're working on. You're just going to have to judge what you're working on and go from there and see what you actually need. But I don't think it'd be a bad idea to get a set that includes inverted Torx, regular Torx, and hex. I'm going to list a master set down below. That's a really good value. You should definitely check that out. It has everything you really need in it. And then you're also going to need some extensions. I would get a set of 1/2 inch drive. I always use chrome extensions. I've never really used impacting extensions. I've never had an issue, so that's my experience. If you want to get impact extensions, then go for it. But I personally haven't had a problem with chrome ones. So, I mean, it's really just up to you, whatever you want to do. And then also 3/8 drive and 1/4 inch drive. Now these are the Snap-on Wobble Plus extensions. I really like these a lot. I know some people hate them, but they actually allow you to wobble on the end and then push the socket all the way down to have just a normal extension. So if you see here, you can wobble right here, but push down and you got a regular extension. That's kind of how they work, and they work really well, and I really like them. So that might be a route you want to go. I'm also going to link some really nice extensions down below. You can check those out too. I think they'll be more than sufficient for you. All right, so now I'm going to talk about hand tools. You're going to need some good hammers. And when I say good hammers, you really don't have to spend that much money on hammers. It just depends on what you want and what your budget is. I personally really like the Snap-on hammers. This one's actually a ball peen dead blow hammer. It has beads inside of it, if you can hear them. These hammers are really nice. They're pretty pricey, but they're really nice. And then also just their dead blows are nice. Harbor Freight makes good dead blows for like dirt cheap. I have one of those and I've beat it up and it's never failed me, so that would be a good route to go. Wilton makes really nice hammers, and GearWrench actually has a really cool hammer set. I'm going to link the Wilton and the GearWrench hammer sets below. I would check out both of those. I definitely can say though that the Wilton hammers are really awesome, so I would for sure take a good look at those and contemplate getting those. You're also going to need some ratchets. I already suggested a 3/8 ratchet in the past video for oil filter caps and stuff, so you should already have one of those. You're going to need a 1/4 inch drive ratchet. I really like the new style Mac, like I mentioned previously. They're really nice, but you can really go whichever route you want. GearWrench makes really nice ratchets. This one right here is actually a Harbor Freight ratchet, made by Pittsburgh. And if you can hear the teeth in this, they're really fine and nice. And I don't know what the exact teeth count is on it, but I really actually like this ratchet a lot. I find myself picking this one up over a lot of my other ratchets, and it was like 15 bucks, I think. So you can't go wrong with that for sure. And I would also get a 1/2 inch drive ratchet. I'm a flex head guy. I love flex head ratchets. So I'm always going to suggest getting a flex head ratchet. This is also the new style Mac ratchets. They're really awesome. Just get a 1/2 inch drive that has a little bit of length on it, because anytime you got to use the 1/2 inch drive, you're going to be putting a decent amount of torque behind it. So you want to get something that has some leverage. You're also going to need some screwdrivers. These are also Mac tool screwdrivers. These screwdrivers are actually identical to the proto screwdrivers, so that could be a good route to go to, because these screwdrivers are really nice. The handles are really nice and durable. These are just really nice screwdrivers. They have a little hex at the end for extra torque if you need to put a wrench on it or something. But I would get some decent screwdrivers. Nothing super cheap. Just that way it's not made out of cheap metal and you're not screwing the tips up on your screwdrivers and stuff. And it's nice to have something that has a lifetime warranty, because you're going to have these for a long time. I mean, you need a screwdriver all the time. So I would invest a little bit. Snap-on, Matco, Mac, they all make really nice screwdrivers. It really just comes down to personal preference. You're also going to need some pliers. I would just get a basic set to begin with. Get some channel locks. These are actually Snap-on. I got a whole 4-piece Snap-on set here. Knipex makes really nice channel lock style pliers that are really top notch. You can't beat them. You really can't beat any of their pliers. So Knipex makes great pliers. Check them out. I'm sure you guys have already heard about them. I'm going to link below a 4-piece set that's pretty much identical to the Snap-on set. So check that set out for sure. But you're going to want some channel locks, some side cutters, some needle nose, and then just some regular adjustable pliers. Alright, so the last set of tools that I would recommend for someone just starting out in the automotive world, you're going to be doing a lot of like brakes and just simple maintenance stuff. So you're going to want to have some brake caliper, compressor tools to push the pistons back in. Now this really comes down to personal preference again. I really like this style. This is for double piston calipers. You can also use it for single piston if you just kind of wedge it in there. I use it for double and single piston all the time, and I really like these. Then you also have the ratchet style caliper compressors. These are also really nice. These come in handy sometimes whenever the other ones don't work. So it's nice to have kind of both sets, but normally one set will kind of do you. And then also, depending on what you're working on, sometimes you might need the caliper twist-in tool for the twist-in type pistons. So I'm going to link one of those below. I don't have one here to show you, but I'll link it below. If those are something that you're dealing with, you're probably going to want to get one of those too. So like I said, this video is for the entry-level automotive technician that knows they want to get into the automotive field and work on cars as a career. So these are the tools that you need to have. I don't think it's a bad idea to invest in good quality brands for these things, because these are kind of your staples that you're going to be using a ton. So it's up to you to kind of pick brands, and if you want to buy tool truck brands or online brands, all the stuff I listed below is definitely a good option. Some of it is cheaper in price, but not necessarily in quality. So definitely give all those things a look. I'm also going to be talking about what toolbox you should buy and what to be looking at throughout the different stages of your career as an automotive technician. So be on the lookout for that video too, as I haven't talked about that yet. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe my video. Shoot me a comment down below. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. If I missed something, make sure to put it down below in the comments. That way other people can see it. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. See you later.